Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a look at a bunch of new cards that are coming around in Night Wanderer over in Japan, which of course is going to be Shrouded Fable over here. And frankly, these are ones that could end up making a little bit of a difference. And I'm going to start off with one of my favorite Gen 8 Pokemon, maybe my favorite Gen 8 Pokemon. We've got Copperajah. And we get a bunch of interesting Copperajah cards. This one is absolutely no different. We got 200 HP on a single prize stage 1, which is obviously phenomenal. Do remember we got a retreat cost of 4 here, so actually Heavy Baton becomes a genuine option, which is always there with a 4 retreat Pokemon, which is something to absolutely bear in mind. Potentially keep that energy around, which is awesome. But then we've got a really nice ability as well. What the ability says is, while this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent cannot play any stadium cards from their hand. It's alright. We've seen stuff like this before and it's okay. But what really is making a difference for me here is the fact that we've got Neutral Center coming in this set. Neutral Center coming in this set changes my opinion a lot, because it's a stadium whereby your opponent basically cannot damage your non-rule box Pokemon with Pokemon EX and Pokemon V. And one of the ways your opponent would try and get around this is to just play their own stadium. Well, hang on a second. Now they can't. Is it perfect? No. They can gust you to the bench and then play their own stadium, and that will work. This is an ability that only works when it's active. They can just play something like Lost Vacuum, for instance, which will absolutely work because this just stops stadiums being played. They can use a non-EX, non-V to go after Copperajah, although the fact that you've got 200 HP really is a kind of a big deal here. The fact that you can try and keep Neutral Center in play a little bit more easily here, while also having a lot of HP such that single prizes are going to struggle to take you down, that's why I think this is a combo which has got a decent amount of potential, put it that way. As for the attack, 4 energy, 130, and you can choose to do 230, but if you do, this Pokemon can't attack during your next turn, unless of course you switch to the bench and back in the active, in which case you obviously can. And yes, the 4 energy is very expensive, but don't forget that Metang is a thing now for accelerating 2 metal Pokemon, so that's kind of cool. And honestly, yeah, it's expensive. The damage is alright, especially if you choose to do the extra. And again, switch in and out the active, you'll be fine. But the fact that you can potentially keeping Neutral Center in play, while also having a 200 HP Pokemon that only gives up 1 prize and does decent damage, you know what? This is absolutely on my radar. I'm giving this one an extremely tentative. 4 Wassies might be over-exaggerating a little bit. I don't really care. I think this is a very cool Pokemon, and I like Copperajah, so I'm going to have a play around with it. What else has gone and been revealed? Well, we've got ourselves an Absol, and I like this Absol. This Absol has an awful lot of potential. Only 1 attack here, although 110 HP on a basic is not terrible, frankly. But what we've got here is 20 damage for a single colourless energy. Nobody really cares. But if you've got 3 or more darkness energy in play, it does 70 damage for a single darkness energy. At which point my opinion of this card changes massively. And of course, we've got Janine. Janine went and got revealed from this set. Janine is coming. And what Janine does very nicely is it attaches 2 darkness energy, 1 to each of 2 of your darkness Pokemon. Oh. Yeah, attaches from the hand, incidentally. So if you play Janine and then attach a darkness energy from your hand to Absol, you've met the requirement. You're doing 70 damage. Turn 1, going second, this is awesome. Because you're going to be playing Janine and Darkness Energy in like an Okie Dokie deck, for instance. But the thing with Okie Dokie is you've got to get free energy on there. And sure, it's absolutely possible you hit Janine, and then you also hit a Dark Patch, and then energy from hand, and you're off and rolling, in which case, yeah, fine, use this. But what this allows you to do is use Janine, get a couple energies spread around, maybe onto 2 different Okie Dokie, for example, and then use your attachment for the turn onto Absol and hit 70. And 70 is a magic number for support Pokemon, for evolving basics, etc. So a lot of the time, turn 1 going second, you won't need to get an Okie Dokie out doing 260 or more. I legit love this. I think this is absolutely brilliant, only specifically in these Okie Dokie Janine decks. But in a Janine deck, I genuinely love this. You hit Janine, turn 1, attached to this, 70 damage, you should be taking a prize. And yeah, I'm kind of in on this. Of course, it doesn't have to be Janine. Again, if you can hit Dark Patch twice, for instance, that will absolutely work. Or if you really want to get super fancy, there is a ridiculous combo that makes no sense whatsoever with Reboot Pod and Future Pokemon. Don't do that one. But my point is, any way you get free Darkness Energy into play, this will work. But Janine here is just too obvious. Play Janine, get 2 energy in play, attach from your hand, boom, 70 damage, turn 1, going second, job's a good 'un. After that, there'll still be turns where 70 damage is enough, and then you can just use this to do the damage. That's absolutely fine. But I don't see a lot of people getting hyped about this, and I think 70 damage is a magic number for single prize, support Pokemon, evolving basics, etc. And if you're playing Janine anyway, this is a good single energy attacker to use to take cheeky prizes without putting stuff like Okie Dokie in harm's way. I like this. I'm giving it another extremely tentative 4 Wassies, although I do feel like I might have woken up a little bit excitable today, and I might be slightly over-egging these cards. But hey, we've got a new Tapu Bulu. We don't get enough Tapu Bulu anymore. Now we've got a new Tapu Bulu. And what we've got here is, well, a big single prize basic, which I like very much indeed, except for the attack cost, which I don't. 140 HP is very big for a single prize basic Pokemon. And we got 4 energy, 220, plus 30 to itself. The 30 to itself basically almost undoes the extra HP. They've gone and made this a big beefy Pokemon with extra HP, yay, but then they've given it a self-damaging attack to very much even it out. And here's the thing. 220 is almost an amazing amount of damage. Now, to be fair, if you're hitting for weakness, this is brilliant, because stuff like Charizard just doesn't even stand a chance, which is lovely. And there's stuff like Roaring Moon, which you'll be hitting for weakness, which again doesn't stand a chance, which is again lovely. Problem is, 220 isn't the key number it once was. 230 is the key number. Take something like Iron Hand, for instance. You're going to be annoyingly 10 damage short. And yes, I know you can use a Vitality Band to get that extra 10 damage and bridge the gap, don't get me wrong. But 230 is a magic number. If I'm putting 4 energy onto this Pokemon, I don't want to have to use a Pokemon tool to bridge the gap. I want to be doing enough damage. And I'm not. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a little bit of a problem. I still think it's great damage, but 220 over 230 is a little annoying. As for energy acceleration, again, we've got options here, but I don't love any of them. We do have Gardenia's Vigor, which will attach a couple of grass energy, but even Gardenia's Vigor, you would still then need like double turbo and only be hitting 200 because of the damage reduction from double turbo in order to get this rolling. Or, you know, you can go down the route of Fortress, but then you're giving up prizes, and I think there might be better options. I'm giving this an ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill, standard free Wassies. I don't think this is terrible, but I think 220 rather than 230 and needing 4 energy really does hurt my boy Bulu, which makes me a little bit sad. Now, there is a rather hilarious Hypno we can take a little bit of a look at here. I like this Hypno. 2 energy, 80 damage, and if your opponent attaches an energy from their hand to the defending Pokemon during their next turn, their turn ends immediately after attaching the energy, which is clearly funny. I love this as an idea, but it's never going to really work. Like, the idea that your opponent attaches an energy and their turn ends is hilarious, but the reality is they can attach an energy to their bench Pokemon and switch active. And then they've got energy on the same Pokemon, but it's fine. Or they can even just switch to the bench and switch active again, at which point the effect is reset, and then they can attach to the Pokemon, even though it's still in the active spot. So I love this as kind of a cheeky tee-hee-hee kind of thing, but I don't think it's actually going to work. The unfortunate thing is, it's too easy to play around. It's a really fun effect, which is why I wanted to show it to you, but it's too easy to play around. And then finally, Galvantula. There's a new Galvantula. It's a grass Pokemon. Yay! And it's not completely terrible. 100 HP on a stage 1 is absolutely terrible. And of course, you got a 40 HP Joltik as well, which is also terrible. But we've got a really nice ability here. If your opponent's active Pokemon has any abilities, this Pokemon's attacks deal 50 more damage. Or it's actually attacks this Pokemon uses, so yes, it would count with something like Crisis Punch, as an example. What attacks does it actually have all of its own? Because let's face it, we're going to need some attacks of its own at some point. Well, we got 1 grass, 1 colorless energy, 50 damage. If this Pokemon has any lightning energy attached, you do 80 more damage. So it's all a little bit annoying, but if you add that up against a Pokemon that has an ability, if you've got both a grass and a lightning energy attached to it, you deal 180 damage. Which is alright. It just seems like a lot to ask. There's too many ifs, buts, and maybes with this particular card. I think it's fine. Let's go ahead and give it 3 Wassies. But I do think it's a little bit too awkward. And even then, 180 is still not going to get that much, especially in terms of 2 prizes. 100 HP is absolutely terrible. But maybe it becomes a really good Crisis Punch user. Because then all of a sudden that goes up to 330, which will hit nicely. Also, to be fair, you are hitting weakness on Charizard here, so that is something to consider as well. I think there's a tiny bit of potential here, but it is quite tiny. I still think there is genuine potential in Copperajah and Absol here as Pokemon that can really make a difference, but now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of these cards you're excited about. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.